Star Wars, one of the finest film series to ever grace the silver screen. But like any video game adaptation, there have been both horrible games and incredible games. Today we'll be talking about the latter. What's up guys, I'm Dave Klein, and these are the top 10 Star Wars video games. Number 10, Star Wars Episode 1 Racer. How about a Star Wars game that has no Force, no starships, or most things you associate with Star Wars? Star Wars Episode 1 Racer does just that and somehow manages to be a fantastic game. Episode 1 Racer takes what's arguably the best element of Star Wars Episode 1, the pod racers, and is a full-on racing game similar in style to Wipeout and F-Zero. Racing through the surprisingly strong variety of courses is a blast, and you'll also have to avoid overheating or banging up your racer too much. Number 9, Star Wars Republic Commando. In Republic Commando, you take control of a squad of elite clone troopers in a tactical first-person shooter, meaning that while you will be blasting away at enemies in typical FPS fashion, you'll also be commanding 3 squad mates who you'll have to control with the best tactics possible in order to take advantage of every situation. While the game is short, it's well done and worth your time if you enjoy the Star Wars universe. Number 8, LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga. While it's hard to remember a time before there were countless LEGO movie video game tie-ins, LEGO Star Wars the video game was actually the first, and it was actually a pretty good game, combining platforming, action, and collecting, hence why there was such a boom of LEGO movie video games. That said, LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga combines LEGO Star Wars the video game with LEGO Star Wars 2 the original trilogy, so you gotta give it up for good value. Number 7, Star Wars Trilogy. If there's ever a way to immerse you into the Star Wars world, it's with an arcade machine, at least until there's a VR Star Wars game. And the Star Wars Trilogy arcade machine just happens to be a hell of a lot of fun. You can choose to either play a movie mission from episode 4, 5, or 6, with each being unique. 4 will take you on a Death Star run, 5 will take you to Hoth, and 6 onto the speeder bikes of Endor. There's also lightsaber battles. As far as an arcade version of Star Wars goes, it's just about everything you can ask for, except for free. Free would be nice. Number 6, Star Wars Shadows of the Empire. Have you ever wanted to play a Star Wars Han Solo game, except for not playing as Han Solo, but playing as a character who's basically just a clone of him? Well then Shadows of the Empire might just be for you. Shadows of the Empire was an absolute blast when it came out, having you control Dash Rendar and give you a chance to do just about everything fun about Star Wars outside of using a lightsaber. You'll fly vehicles, blast away at enemies while utilizing a jetpack, and even be able to use speeder bikes. And while the tank controls are weird, I still enjoy the game. Number 5, Star Wars Battlefront 2. While people will debate over which is the better Battlefront game, especially as we're on the verge of Battlefront 2 being released, I'm going to go with the original Battlefront 2 released in 2005. This game took Star Wars Battlefront and said, you know what would be better? More of everything, except how many people are in the match. The game includes a single-player campaign, a galactic conquest mode, and unlike Battlefront 1, the ability to utilize Jedi heroes and space battles. Number 4, Jedi Knight 2 Jedi Outcast. As far as Jedi and Force-driven Star Wars games go, Jedi Knight 2 is top-notch. This FPS and third-person hybrid of a Star Wars game has you taking control of Kyle Katarn, a former Jedi and current mercenary. And while you can use guns, which are a blast, no pun intended, to use, you'll also have the ability to utilize the Force and utilize a lightsaber. Not only that, but you'll gain both light and dark abilities, meaning double the fun. And I can't say utilize, I don't know why. Number 3, Star Wars TIE Fighter. As much as Star Wars is about the Force and the battle between dark and light, its sci-fi setting has made it home to some incredible galactic battles. And as it turns out, capturing this within a flight sim just happened to work. And while the following game on the list is more action-oriented, this flight sim actually works really well, and your preference really just depends on your personal tastes. This is a more realistic, or as realistic as you can get, take on Star Wars, especially with it primarily being first person, which helps really distinguish it. The game is a sequel to Star Wars X-Wing and improves in just about every single way. Number 2, Rogue Leader Rogue Squadron 2. If there's one game that truly captures the delight of the Star Wars dogfights, it's Rogue Leader Rogue Squadron 2. Rogue Leader was one of the first games released for the Nintendo GameCube and remains one of its finest. The controls are fantastic, the missions, mostly being straight from the movies, are a blast to play through, and new crafts for you to pilot are unlocked along the way with additional content available for acing missions. Unlike TIE Fighter, you'll mostly be controlling from a third-person perspective, which makes it easier to find and target enemies. It's a simple concept, but executed so well that the game is well worth playing. Number 1, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. Forget Mass Effect, forget Dragon Age, and forget Jade Empire. None of these would have happened without Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. This was BioWare's first big hit, and for good reason. By taking an RPG and adding an alignment system and dialogue choices, which was fresh for the time of its release, then placing all of this within the massive world of Star Wars, BioWare made a truly revolutionary game that still resonates with players to this day. That does it for the top 10 Star Wars games. Is there a game you think I should have included on this list? Also, what would you personally like to see in a new Star Wars game? Let us know in the description, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.